Welcome to the channel. This video covers early development following the GCSE Psychology syllabus. At around 3 weeks after conception, a long neural tube will begin to develop. This will form the brain and the spinal cord. The front will become the brain and will swell into 3 sections: the forebrain, the midbrain, and the hindbrain. This is known as differentiation. And the back will become the spine. The brain's messengers that are called neurons begin to multiply at a rate of up to 250,000 every minute. By 3 months, the brain will be sending its signals, getting it ready for your senses and even memory. Here is a closer look at a neuron. Neurons fire electric signals called action potentials across a neural network in the nervous system. And this is a synapse. This is a junction that allows communication between 2 neurons, or between a neuron and a muscle or gland cell. So let's have a look at the brain in more detail. Here is the brain at 13 weeks of pregnancy, looking like a brain as we know it. And here is the brain of a newborn baby, looking very similar to a fully developed adult's brain, although it will continue to develop significantly during the early years of life. Here is an image of the brain from above. This is known as the cerebrum, and is the largest area of the brain. So looking down at the brain from above, you can see that it is formed in 2 halves, and are called the left and right hemispheres. We then have the outer layer, which is called the cortex, also referred to as the cerebral cortex. This is around 2 to 4 millimeters thick. Now let's look at a side view of the brain. The 2 cerebrum hemispheres can be split into 4 lobes. And it is important to remember each of these, and their functions for the exam. The lobe in blue is the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is responsible for cognition, so our thoughts, our memory, and our problem solving. It is also responsible for planning for the future, and our complex social behaviors. The parietal lobe is located in the upper middle part of the cerebral cortex, and is in light green. This is responsible for the sensation of touch and pressure. The temporal lobe is in dark green. This is responsible for hearing and understanding language. And finally, the occipital lobe is in pink. This is responsible for vision. Now let's go deeper and look inside the center of the brain. Here is the thalamus. This is the hub for information. So this sends information to the correct areas of the cortex. The brainstem connects the brain to the spinal cord. This is responsible for autonomic functions, meaning involuntary functions, and the things that you do not have to think about, like breathing and heart rate. The cerebellum, located at the back of the brain, is responsible for coordination and balancing. So, now that we have covered the early development of the brain, do you think that these structures and their associated functions are purely influenced by genetics? If so, then this would be the nature view. Or could it be that early brain development is the result of environmental factors, such as the mother drinking alcohol during pregnancy, or the child's experiences during infancy? This would be the nurture view. Or maybe it's a combination of both. That would be the interactionalist approach. Thanks for watching.